Welcome back, everybody, to another live hangout here on Monday night. How you guys doing today, man? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got David Stegosaurus in the chat. Dave probably gonna go for a walk now, so I will likely be hey, right on, my man. Enjoy the walk with the pupper. All right, man. But how's everybody doing? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. If you do get a chance, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. We are doing 2 live streams a week, one on Monday, one on Friday, leading up to the draft. So after tonight, we got Friday, we got Monday of next week, and then we will actually be going live on Thursday for the first round of the NFL draft. And yes, we will be live. I'm going to be live, I think, about an hour to 45 minutes before the draft, and I will be live throughout the entire thing. And then we'll probably do a little bit of a first round wrap up. And yes, we will be back for Friday to do another live draft, and we're gonna do the entire draft, man, from round 1 all the way through round 7. And yeah, man, I'm gonna try to do as much research as I can, so I have something to talk about for hopefully most of the prospects. Probably won't be able to do or have something deep to say for all 250 plus that get drafted. But we will. Hey, once we hear a guy that we don't know and it looks interesting, we'll look it up, man. So, but yeah, man. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully you're getting excited for your teams to, kind of rebuild, retool, or just add more firepower to your offenses, to your defenses, things like that. And I'm excited, man. I am really, really excited. So I'm gonna wait a couple minutes here as kind of people file in, hopefully, and then we'll kind of go from there, man. Let's see here. Yeah, but last Friday, man, our biggest stream, unfortunately, one of our longest off-season streams. I think it was a little over 2.5 hours. But yeah, man, we'll be doing another mock draft on Friday. Do not worry, it will not be that long. I'm basically going to be like usering just a handful of teams. That way, it can kind of go a little bit quicker. We'll try to do the first 3 rounds. I think last time we did 2 rounds, but once again, we were picking every single pick in the first 2 rounds. That won't happen on Friday. We'll streamline it. We'll pick maybe like 3 or 4 teams, and then we'll kind of go from there. So that way, it's a little bit quicker, something a little bit more engaging. That way, it's a lot less stop and go. So if you're interested in that, man, let me know. Let me know in the chat who your team is, and if you want to be live with us, I will give you a chance to pick somebody for your team. It could be anybody, man. It could be anybody. Anybody that's, that's being drafted in 2026. No Micah Parsons around here, okay? But yeah, let me set some things up here. All right. So, kind of talking about some NFL news. Um, there hasn't been anything too crazy, at least not no like trades or anything like that we've seen so far. But unfortunately, there's been some legal issues for some guys. So the first one we'll kind of talk about is going to be the Cowboys' Marquise Bell, the safety man. Right now, he is facing felony misdemeanor drug charges. Um, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I saw that, like I think it happened like 2 days ago. I think right around, I think it was like right around Saturday or Friday. Um, it seems like to happen almost every single offseason. There seems to be like a Dallas Cowboy that gets into some hot water doing something that he should not be doing. But yeah, no. Unfortunately, it says right here. This is according to looks like Todd Archer for ESPN, or at least the article. Dallas Cowboy safety Marquise Bell has been arrested and charged with possession of controlled substance, marijuana, according to Collin County Jail records. The arrest was made on Friday. There was a strong odor. He was pulled over on Friday night, searched his vehicle, and found 2 O's of Marjane. Holy cow, man. Gotta be smarter than that. Bell is entering the second season of a 3-year, $9 million contract. He has spent the past 4 seasons with the Cowboys after making the team as an undrafted free agent and back in 2022. He started 3 of 17 games last year and was credited with 34 tackles, 1 sack, 1 pass deflection, 1 pressure. He also had 10 special team tackles. So kind of a little bit of a, I don't want to say a fringe guy, but definitely a semi-important rotational player on that in that secondary, and a key contributor in special teams. So definitely not a good sign. Probably will probably miss some time with a suspension. Even though I don't know if the NFL is still suspending guys for just doing the Mary Jane, but when you get caught with that much, yeah, you're gonna be in a little bit of hot water. So unfortunately, not great. So yeah, we'll see what they decide to do. I mean, $9 million for a 3-year contract is not a whole lot. So if they find that it's he's being a little bit more of a headache than he's worth, that's a contract that you can easily move on from. Even the Cowboys, who have been in some cap trouble over the last couple of years, they always seem to find a way, to extend some contracts. So and they freed up quite a bit of space this offseason, restructuring a lot of their big name guys, Dak, CD Lamb, all those guys kind of restructure their deals to open up a lot of cap room. But yeah, we'll see if we'll see what happens with Bell over the next couple of weeks. So, see Strum, what's going on? What's going on, brother? How you doing? How you doing? Good morning, Vietnam. A little bit of Robin Williams there. I like it. This was unexpected. Oh, the Bell thing, or yeah, man. Welcome, 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 brother. How you doing? How was the weekend? And did you get a chance to see that mock draft that I posted, man? I'm trying to build your team up, man. Trying to help out Jerry there. Sometimes he gets in his own way, so I try to kind of rebuild that Cowboys defense. Doing good. Work was interesting. Oh, okay. Let me know, man. What happened? What happened? Hopefully everything is okay. Hopefully interesting, good. Not interesting, bad. Great weekend. Went up to College Station to visit my cousin before. Hey, let's go. Heck yeah, man. Stuff is okay. 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 Personally, not a bad day for me. We'll see what the future holds. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're. I'm glad it didn't. It's not affecting you in a bad way. In a bad way, so it's a good thing. All right, because hey, you let me know, man. If somebody's coming after you, I'll go down there, man. I'll go down there and I'll fight them. All right, you know. I'll introduce them to Mike Tyson and Jack Johnson. All right, just saying. And yes, this is Mike Tyson because this one also bites. Just some drama going on in the department evaluation. Their subs haven't had mine yet. Okay, all right. Interesting. Interesting. Hmm. Like I said, man, they want to mess with you, they're gonna have to go through me, man. All right. I'm pretty sure we can get David Stegosaurus involved as well, man. Oh man. But anywho, yeah. So and another thing that came up over the weekend, I think it actually happened earlier today, was let me see. Some people are escalating complaints to like the boss. Oh, that is interesting. Hmm. Workplace drama, man. I never understood it. Never understood it. It's like, dude, I'm just here to work and go home. Just here to work and go home, man. Yeah, man. Well, hopefully that stuff gets kind of sorted out. Yeah, keep me posted, man. As much as I don't like to be involved in the work drama, I do like to hear about it, man. That's it's like yeah, I could be doing something and somebody's like, "Can you believe she did that?" I'll be like, "What?" Be like, "What she do, man? What she do?" He'd be like, "Oh, can you believe he got away with it?" I'll be like, "Got away with what? Huh?" Like I said, the future is uncertain, but my day was actually fine. Let's go, man. Heck yeah. That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear. That's good, man. But hey, are you excited for the draft, my man? Or is there anything you're looking forward to the most when it comes to maybe a little bit of football? Let me know. Let me know. So what's been happening? I mean, luckily for the most part, the last like week or two, especially the last like 7 days, thankfully the top 30 visits. That's when teams like kind of host some of the top prospects that they're really interested in. A lot of that has been going on, so a lot of players that are going to be going in the probably in the first round, second round, third round, into the fourth and fifth probably have been going to have a one-on-one with the Packers, man, and there's been some interesting names. Yeah, like one of them is a Tennessee receiver, Chris Brazil, the second. Big body receiver, man, fast as heck, dude, and can catch at the same time. Yeah, so he's a guy that could be available for the Packers right around where they're drafting, which I think is like 52. So things like that. Yeah, so basically, anytime there's a player that the Packers host, immediately, and I mean immediately, I'm looking at their tape. Yeah, I'm excited. My brother even telling me to clear my schedule. All right, he's been getting into football a lot more after I plugged him into the creators like Tom. Hey man, there you go. So that's been wild and a bit of pleasant surprise. There we go. Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, man. Like being able to bond or just kind of like almost like I was gonna say like kind of like bring in people from the outside into this weird world that is NFL football or just football in general, man. So much fun. So much fun. Yeah, dude. It's definitely one of my favorite things. But heck yeah, dude. So you and your brother hopefully gonna be watching some games this year, man. Let's go. And is your brother like? I know you just said you kind of started introducing him, but is he also a Cowboys fan, my man, or is he still kind of trying to pick out his own team, maybe? I think he's a Cowboys fan. All right. Don't worry, he'll learn the ways. He'll be like, "What's up with this Jerry Jones guy?" He'll be like, "Ah, yes." You're gonna be like, "Ah, man, I've been asking myself that question for as long as possible." Also, some huge developments in college baseball. Oh heck yeah, dude! Let me know what's going on. College baseball, dude. That's such a forgotten part of like baseball. Like you always hear these kids getting drafted when they're like in high school or coming out of high school. Hi, Dave. I have returned. Let's go, David. What's going on, brother? How you doing? How you doing? Seastrom is about to tell us some crazy developments in college baseball. Let's go. A&M beat Texas twice this weekend. Won the whole series first time since 2012. Let's go. Freaking yeah, baby. Let's go, Aggies. I don't usually pay attention, but it is the Aggies. It's fair. It's fair. Also, it is UT, of course, the University of Texas, Lou. There you go. Interstate rivalry there. Understandable. It's always good when you beat your rival to win the championship or to win the series. So, heck yeah. You're always gonna be able to hold that over their heads too, man. So it's gonna be awesome. It's like when the Packers beat the Bears to go to Super Bowl 45. Like they might have beaten us this past year in the wild card, but when the Super Bowl ticket was on the cards, we got them. We got them. Huge upset in general too, considering A&M is ranked 18th. Ooh, and University of Texas is ranked number 2. All right, all right. Let's go. Breaking some brackets, maybe. I don't know. Speaking of brackets, dude, David. Holy cow, man. Picking the right 2 teams and the right team to win as well, man. Congratulations to you, sir. I want to say that on the live stream, man, because that was the only time I root for University of Texas is if they're playing Ohio Poop. Mm-hmm. The Ohio Poop. Also, great to get revenge on the Skulls. If you want the TLDR on Skulls, they used to coach Texas before leaving for literally our biggest rivals of all time. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Gotcha. Because I was looking up the name, and I was like, it's like, all right. I was like, he's the coach for Texas. I gotcha. There you go. Give me the lowdown on him. Dude, that's oh my god, that's awesome. That's like when Brett Favre. Sorry, I always have to parallel it with football. I have to speak my own language. It's like when Brett Favre went to the Vikings. You know, the year that we beat them not once but twice. Oh my god, so great! And that was the same year that they won the Super Bowl as well with Rodgers. Oh, it was awesome. That was such an awesome year. So good, so good. Literally the day after losing the national championship. Mm. Wikipedia has explained it better. Hey, it's all right, man. You give me the lowdown. I don't have to read now. I'm all good. Yeah, I gotta rest this brain. You know, it gets tired very easily. You know, it's like think of this as like an old cat. You know, it just like it wakes up, but after about 5 or 10 minutes of doing some work, just has to sleep the rest of the day. The post-game press conference following the Aggies loss in Game 3 angrily berated a reporter for inquiring about whether he accepted the head coach job position. Like I could understand. You're like, hey man, like it is not about what I just did, but it's just like, I mean, it's kind of the reporter's job. Like if he was like, he's like, hey, so since this team didn't win it, are you gonna like if he asked that kind of question, totally get it. But it's just like, all right, like you don't have to like the question. You could even say, hey, I don't want to answer that at this time. But hmm. The day after seriously chewing the reporter out, he did leave and tried to take all the staff and players with him. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's like trying to move out of an apartment, but you're trying to take the fridge with you. It's like no, 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 come on, man, that stays. Saying things like I literally said. He's like, "How dare you, sir? How dare you ask that question? How dare you?" But yes, it's true. Unbelievable. Well, it's good that you beat him, though. That's always nice. Heck yeah. Sorry that one just stuck with the line. I think, oh, you're all good, man. You're all good. That's what sports is, man. It's passion, baby. Like that is like that is a borderline like Star Wars like basically started the coach started out as Anakin, and then when he started to after you lost after it got a little tough, he decided to turn Darth Vader on you. You know, go to the other side, go to the dark side. I like it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention game two was a blowout, 11 to 4. Woohoo! Scored 8 runs in a single inning. Jeez. Beautiful, beautiful. David, I am part of a 12 county area under a tornado watch, which means there's a possibility of tornado developing. It's April, man. Oh man, sorry, brother. Hopefully you guys can kind of hunker down. We get some tornadoes up here in Wisconsin. It seemed like they were more frequent when I was like a kid. I remember just being like doing like more like drills, I guess. But yeah, man, it can get bad up here. I remember a couple of years ago, almost like a little small like Wisconsin town just got destroyed. It sucked. But yeah, man. Hopefully you're safe. Hopefully your area is safe, and hopefully it just kind of passes through in the middle of nowhere. You know, like those are the best things. Like when a tornado is not like destroying anything, it's really awesome to see. But it's when it starts to actually hit people, that's when they're just like, oh, this sucks. So yeah, did you guys hear this story released earlier today, I believe, and it's just a no, actually, sorry, yesterday. Just really weird timing. Ruben Bain, one of like the top edge rushers in this draft, um, a story came out just yesterday about a unfortunately an accident that he was the driver of that ended up resulting in a person losing their life. This accident happened back in 2024, so this is something that obviously happened a while ago that I would say most, if not all, teams already know. It's just really strange that it's coming out, basically like a week before the draft. Something tells me there's, I don't know if they're trying to tank, trying to see if you can slide down a couple spots by doing this, but I feel like most teams know something like this. It's not like it was like a secret, but yeah, unfortunate. Tornadoes are more of a northern Texas area issue as opposed to where I live. And a lot less common. There we go. Yeah, I've heard of Bane. Yeah, man. Yeah, and like it says right here, in a statement given to the Red Optional, which I think is a local newspaper, the young woman's family called the crash a tragic accident and said that they wish Mr. Bain the best as he continues his life and career. So it doesn't seem like the family, and the woman's name was Destiny Betts. That was the person that unfortunately lost her her life in that accident. 22-year old Georgia woman, but apparently her family, like that's what they said. Best wishes to Mr. Bain, the best as he continues his life and career. So. Yeah, so just weird. The whole thing just is really strange. Just the timing of it, the fact that it happened years ago, 2 years ago, and then yeah, it's just really strange. Yeah, all the charges were dropped, nothing came of it. So yeah, I think that was one of the biggest news, probably the biggest news that's come out the last 2 days, something like that. But otherwise, not a whole lot. A panel ruled that the NFL didn't collude on quarterback deals. There's I don't know what I couldn't find out what the panel like who was involved in that. So it easily could have been a panel that was, run and operated by the NFL. Doesn't say like an independent panel or an independent investigation. So the family isn't holding a strong ill will. It sounds like, well, kids are being kids, and the dice didn't roll in our daughter's favor. Yeah, very, yeah. Yeah, and that's what it's. Wait, what? The collusion thing? Yeah, so, yeah, let me. So, this is what it says. Panel rules against NFLPA says not enough proof of collusion. A three-person panel on Friday upheld an arbitrator's decision that there wasn't sufficient evidence of collusion by teams when negotiating the contracts of Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, and Russell Wilson back in 2022, according to a copy of the ruling obtained by multiple outlets. While the panel found that while the panel found that the teams were being invited to participate in collusion by the NFL, they were invited to participate in collusion by the NFL, okay, and called the effort improper. It ruled that there wasn't enough evidence to prove teams took a part in the collusion. So we have evidence that the NFL strongly suggested that NFLs collude with each other, but we just didn't see the in between, even though the suggestion or the prompt by the NFL matched the result of what the NFL wanted. We didn't see anything in between. We saw the two sides of the bread. We just didn't see what was in between them. You got my attention. I remember hearing so much about that last year. Yeah. It's really freaking weird. The panel upheld a January 2025 decision by an arbitrator, Christopher Droney. The NFL Players Association had argued that the owners violated the collective bargaining agreement by colluding in contract negotiations with quarterbacks following the record fully guaranteed contract by Cleveland Brown quarterback Deshaun Watson. The case specifically questioned whether Watson's $230 million affected talks with Murray, Jackson, and Wilson. None of the three signed fully guaranteed contracts. In July, ESPN reported that the NFL, then senior leader of NFLPA, had reached a confidential agreement to keep the arbitration decision from the players. Oh. So there's evidence that the NFL, as they say, invited them to participate in collusion. There is evidence of a confidential agreement by a specific senior leader in the NFLPA that would keep the decision secret, and then the result is what the NFL wanted and was encouraging by inviting NFL teams to collude. But there isn't any strong evidence, they say, or enough proof. Interesting. All right. I think, as David put it last week, we have investigated ourselves and found no evidence of our wrongdoing. Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't find anything else on this case, and I'll look more into it. Maybe I'll talk about it on Friday. But yeah, interesting. NFLPA is like a speed limit sign in Texas. It's there for legal reasons, but isn't actually doing anything useful. Yep, 100%. Yeah, there's a highway not too far from where I am. The speed limit is 55. I've almost never seen anybody drive 55. Like, it's closer to 65 to 70 is what most people were driving. Like, even the police officers are driving, 15 miles over the speed limit. Oh, for sure. Some people are just about speed down here. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, is it like your guys' speed limit? Like, last time I went down to Texas, it was like 75, 80 miles an hour. I think I saw 85 at some point. Okay. Also, your guys' roads, beautiful, beautiful roads. At least the highway ones. Hardly any bumps on those bad boys. Up here, my gosh, dude, they could literally pave a new road, and within like 2 or 3 years, it's got potholes, it's got cracks, it's got the whole thing. It's just because of all the It's because of the brutal winter and the amount of salt that they put on there, man. It just wears it down so quickly. Yeah, Wisconsin roads, man, terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Had someone on my tail on the way to work last week. Literally could barely see then a single headlight in the rearview mirror. Close it was, going 75. Jesus. It's like, dude, if you're going to be that close, like, just go around me, man. Just go around me. Highways aren't too bad, no, except for a couple of stretches under construction. That's fair, yeah. Yeah, I remember when I was living in Milwaukee, man. I remember there was a long stretch or like a part of the highway that was under construction. I I moved there when I was a freshman in college. That's when they kind of like I think it was like already a year into the construction, and by the time they were done, I was basically ready to graduate college. That's how long it took. All right, let me see here. Trying to find. Okay, I got way too many tabs open. Too many tabs. But so the one thing that I did was gonna kind of talk about here was what I expect the Packers to kind of do in this draft. And I'll kind of lead into maybe even talking about maybe what they're planning to do next year. So this year, the way that the Packers are structured, especially offensively, their receiving room as of right now, before they extend or potentially, re-sign anybody, there's only two players at the receiver position that are under contract after this season, and that is Matthew Golden and Savion Williams. Everybody else is either on a 1-year contract or on their final year of their rookie contract, which is wild. Open some of the tabs in a new window. I usually have like 3 windows with 5 tabs each, sometimes more if I'm researching something fun. Ooh, what you researching, bro? What you researching? Let me know. Let me know. But but yeah. So obviously Christian Watson and Jaden Reed are big candidates to be re-signed. I think the trade of Wicks, I think coming into the start of the offseason, the Packers were trying to decide. I think they already decided, but they were definitely trying to decide who are we going to keep between Wicks and Reed. And the Packers decided Reed potentially has not only more to offer, but also potentially still has just a little bit of a higher ceiling, a little bit more reliable. Um, and of the two, he's clearly had the better career, even with the broken collarbone from last year. Um, I think you can definitely see the difference when Jaden Reed is healthy and when he was not. The Packers definitely struggled to adjust after he broke that collarbone in week 2. Took him a couple weeks to kind of get going. And even then, during the middle of the season, man, they were just, they were rough. Linux Mint and all the shenanigans of getting it to work with various hardware. There we go. Absolutely, man. Getting into the weeds of software to maximize the hardware, man. That's always fun, man. It's always like, it's frustrating when you first start because you don't like know where to start with that stuff. But once you kind of get into it, it's so addictive to just like play around with it, and just kind of kind of like almost like a scientist in a way. Just see what works, see what doesn't. Um, but yeah, so I think both of them, Reed and Watson, are going to be candidates to be extended. I think, especially Watson, man, if he can continue to play like he did last year, after coming back from that injury, there's no reason. Like he's always had flashes of the player that many people, when the Packers traded up in the second round to get him, there's always been flashes. That rookie season after he had a string of injuries early in the season, had some drops, and then for like a month, for like 4 or 5 games, I think he scored like 8 or 9 touchdowns, including like 3 touchdowns like back-to-back games. Yeah, he was a big, like, just explosive player. Like, you could always see that. That was always a big thing. But last year, man, even when the explosive plays, even when the long bombs, and he got those too, but even when they weren't there, he was catching the intermediate stuff. He was catching the stuff on third down, sure-handed, making plays when you needed him, and like he just became a true number one receiver in that offense. And if he can continue to stay healthy and he can continue to work and do that, I guarantee you, mid-season or maybe even before the season, the Packers are going to extend him to a nice contract. Reed, once again, Injuries have never really been an issue with him up until last year, so that might be just. And also, it's a broken collarbone. Those are broken bones. Those are just freak accidents. But the biggest thing was with him was consistency, and then some drops in his second year, and they kind of led into year three. But we'll see how he looks this season. But yeah, the Packers are not a team that they don't pay okay receivers like Wicks, like guys like that. Alan Lazard, they never really gave him a major contract. It was always those 1 year kind of like not minimum contracts, but tenured offers. And once those were spent, they let Alan, the Lizard King, go, man. So they don't tend to pay guys. They tend to pay guys like Devontae, Jordy Nelson, Christian Watson, Randall Cobb, guys that are more than just guys that they can potentially find in the draft for a lot cheaper. They want guys that are going to be able to potentially go over 1,000 yards, that can be threats in the middle of the field, in the red zone, can make plays after the catch, guys like that. So, once again, with only 2 guys under contract after this season, something tells me, one, they're going to re-sign some guys, but also I think if it's not this year, next year for sure, they're going to be going hard at the wide receiver position. And I think that's why they're kind of stockpiling some picks in 2027. And we've seen it with Goody, especially the receiver position. He hits it multiple times in a single draft. He did it in his first draft. He drafted Jamon Moore, Equiminius St. Brown, and MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. All 3 of those guys in the same draft. And then in 2022, Christian Watson, 2nd round, Romeo Doubs in the 4th, and then was the other receiver? I'm blanking on his name now. Unfortunately, he didn't stick with the Packers after his contract, really. I think he only spent 3 seasons in Green Bay. But that was Samari Toure. And then the very next year, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, and Grant DeBose. So, like, Goody, when it comes to receivers, man, he kind of hits them hard, and then for a season or 2 doesn't draft a single one, really. So I think that's what they're planning. And they can wait until next year because they'll be fine this year with what they have right now. They're not pressed to draft a guy in 2026. So it would be nice. Plus, I think they need to shore up the offensive line and the defense, especially the front 7. So, but anyway. Yeah, but what do you guys think? What are you looking for with your teams? David, I know you've been a big fan of Sadiq. He is climbing up the boards, man, and luckily, this is the year that the Chiefs have a top 10 pick. That's probably where he's going to be. He may not be in the top 10. I think it's possible that the Chiefs could even draft down and still get him. I think if you look at the mock draft that I had, I actually did for the Chiefs. There was a great offer to move 2 spots down and pick up, I think, an extra 4th or a 3rd. And that's what I did for the Chiefs, so they can get an extra pick. And they were still able to pick Sadiq at number 11. And then for the Cowboys, they have so much ammunition. I actually moved from 12 to 19 for the Cowboys in that mock draft and picked up an extra, I think it was an extra 2nd round pick and something else later in day 3. Because the Cowboys, they actually didn't have, I think, can't remember if it was a 2nd or a 3rd, but they didn't have a pick in that round. And I was like, moving back 7 spots, move back to the 19th, you already have the 20th selection. I was like, Cowboys back-to-back picks and then getting an extra pick in the 2nd round. And I was like, they can do a lot of damage in a good way with having those picks. So maybe something exciting, don't know. Hopefully making something happen with our picks. It's true. And like I think you said this last week or a couple weeks ago, the Cowboys have been doing really well when it comes to drafting. It's just putting the pieces together. It's granted their defense has been kind of lackluster. The last couple of years, they've dealt with some injuries. They've dealt with, I think, some guys getting a little bit older. At the worst possible time. But they have the capital to definitely change that quickly, whether it's one draft or two. I have no clue what the Chiefs should do. I vote for tight end, and beyond that, they could need a new edge rusher. Yep, and I wouldn't know. That's fair. Um, yeah, for the Chiefs, I think, and there's something that I did in the mock draft. I want them to look for not only a tight end to obviously replace Kelsey, and I think Sadiq is one of the best tight ends, at least in terms of athleticism, to come out of the draft, I think, in the last 3 years. Um, but when it comes to the type of receiver that they have, there's some really good ones. Obviously, Lemon. There's another receiver that's going in the top 15, top 20. But both of those guys were built like receivers that they already have. To me, Malachi Lemon is Xavier Worthy. Same size, same height, same type of weapons. The only thing that I think Lemon is a little bit better at is in terms of, I think he's a little bit more consistent with his hands, and I think he's better at route running. But otherwise, everything is the same. Same speed, same size, everything. And then the other receiver that I'm thinking of that I can't think of, he's Rashid Rice. Same size, same speed, same almost everything. I think Rashid is a little bit more explosive at this point, but he's been in the league longer, so I think he has a little bit of an advantage. But the one guy that I drafted for them was a 6'4", 220-pound receiver that ran a 4.4. That's something they do not have in their roster right now. A guy that can still blow the top off of defense, but can out jump somebody deep down the field, and I think that would give Pat Mahomes somebody to just say, hey, let me just truck it down the field, get an explosive play, and see if he can win the jump ball, basically. Holy cow. See here. You're loco. I totally didn't sleep all day. No! The Cowboys. You're loco. You gotta get some sleep, my man. Gotta get some sleep. Listen to me, and I'll probably serenade you to sleep. I'll be like, the Cowboys should draft top heavy in the cheerleader department. David, you're not wrong though. Just a little top heavy, You think Kelsey is getting replaced? I don't think so. No. I think if they do draft Sadiq, I think towards the end of the season, I think you could potentially see some of Kelsey's, I don't want to say snaps. I think he'll still be on the field, but I think his opportunities down the field, some of those intermediates, I think he'll start giving way to Sadiq if that does happen. So no. Like Kelsey, he's not going to be a guy that's just going to be taking 5 or 7 snaps in a game. He's going to be there consistently. He's still incredible. His incredible chemistry with Mahomes is still probably the best in the NFL, even at this time. And then he's still able to get separation, man. I don't know how he does it, but he's always able to find space within those like 7 to 10 yard routes. Always able to find some room. So. Let me see here. Catching up here. Sorry. But not bottom heavy. I mean, depends on what kind of man you are. Are you a... Never mind. Kelsey has 1 to 2 years left. Get someone up to speed now. 100%. The best time to draft somebody to replace somebody is when you don't need them. Aaron Rodgers. Did we need a quarterback? No, we had Brett Favre, but worked out. Jordan Love. Did we need Jordan that year? No, we still had Aaron Rodgers. It's worked out. I know. That was terrible. Howdy. There we go. I have my priorities, and I have stated them. It's fair. Your local... So totally related to that. Let me see. Wish I could get more sleep. Last week was rough. Oh. Sorry, man. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why, but when it comes to spring, man, I sleep way too long. I've become very groggy. Don't know why. Yeah. Once summer and like fall hits, I'm like waking up early, but uh, oh yeah, literally slept through my alarm for the second time this entire school year. Had to rush to work. Eh, keeps the job on their toes. You'd be like, is he gonna show up? Yeah, he'll show up. Thankfully, I usually err on the side of early rather than late. So I'm missing my alarm by 15 minutes. Man, I got to work 10 minutes before class. There we go. After, not after, had to just take a shower and then run. There we go. Hey, get that 5 minute shower, get the main areas, and then get out. We're running out the door with a towel, right? Yeah, I remember. I think it might have been in high school. I was running late. I woke up like with like 20 minutes to spare, and it takes like 6 minutes for me to like go to school. So I took a quick shower, shampoo, boom, 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 get the body, and I got out. I got out of the shower. I started putting on my clothes, and I realized, and I had like a button down, not a over the head. Forgot didn't wash off the shampoo, so that was fun. So I had to take all that off, take off the shampoo, and then try to get out the door. That was fun. Tell you, man. I would have just stuck my head under the faucet and hope for the best. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's fair. To be fair, I literally just I started the shower and I just stuck my head in there just to get it off. I didn't take off like the lower part clothes, But I just made sure to like cover it with a towel so it wouldn't get like wet. And yeah, it was if somebody would have walked in on me, it would have been just like one of the weirdest looking situations. You're like, why do you have a towel? First off, why are you why are you just sticking your head while you're not in the shower? Why do you have the curtains open? Why are you wearing pants, socks, and shoes, but you have a towel around your waist and you're shirtless? Like that trying to explain all of that would have been horrific in the morning. But able to get there in time. Just in time. Just in time. I had one of those teachers that closes the door as soon as the bell rings. Just I was able to get there just before then. And if I was wearing a hat, man, it would have been like an Indiana Jones, just slide in there, reach out, get the hat back in there, bam. Yeah, and to be quite honest with you, man, the way that this draft is, a lot of people are kind of pooping on this draft this year. They're saying that it's not, it's basically a bad draft, which it's not. There's a lot of talented players. There aren't as many high end players this year, including the quarterback class. The quarterback class is probably one of the worst that we've seen in a while. Um, like I think any given year, like if you looked at, let's say you put Mendoza in the 2020 draft, that was the Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts. Mendoza probably would have been the fourth or fifth quarterback taken in that class. And that's not to say that Mendoza is a bad pick. He still would have been probably a first round pick in that year. And I think there isn't nobody's overdrafting him. He's clearly one of the best players. Not only is he the best player in this position, but he's one of the best players overall in this draft because of his ability to be able to do the right things at the right time. It's just he doesn't potentially have the physical tools that you would want of an elite quarterback. But we've seen guys that have similar skill sets succeed and win quite a bit in the NFL. So I literally looked at my phone and did we have the daylight change again? Oh, that was a couple weeks ago, man. Don't be scaring me. Captain Mickey Mouse, what's up? Long time no see, my dude. Seastrom, don't scare me like that, man. I was like, no. I was like, we already went through that. Oh, dude, that was the dude. I completely forgot about it too, and I stayed up late that day. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Got like 5 hours, maybe 4 hours of sleep that day. The draft experts are just mad they can't manufacture as much fake drama over who's going to be first, and 5 quarterbacks will be with 159 variations, and it's interesting. Very true. Yeah, and like with this draft class, and I think I've heard some more. To me, there's like certain experts that I follow that tend not to try to make headlines. They just try to be like, this is what I think. You know, Tony Pauline is one of those guys. He's been a media guy or like a draft guy for a long time. Very accurate. Doesn't try to make waves or try to say like something outlandish to get He just loves to analyze and talk about football, talk about prospects, and guys like that. They're saying that this draft class is you can find the talent, but you have to fit yourself to the value. You're not going to be able to just kind of throw a dart in the first round or the second round and find a guy that's going to be an all pro. You got to find a guy that's going to be able to fit you and your scheme, and you got to be able to give him opportunities to not only when it comes to coaching, but also on the field to maximize himself as a player. And like a lot of guys, there's a couple guys. One of the receivers that I'm trying to think of, he might be actually a second round pick, but some people are saying that he might go in the first. I'll look him up here in a second. Let me see here. Captain, look like Bill's trying to get Cardinal by the name of Marvin Harrison. Bill's stadium complete. Allen had his baby. There you go. Okay. Gotcha. Right on, my man. Yeah, the stadium is going to look really nice. It's going to look very nice. Very nice. Let me see here. Is it Bella? Sorry, guys. I should have had him already popped up, but I did kind of lose the page here. But I think it's the receiver out of Louisville, Bell. So he's kind of a guy that can do a lot of things. He's not going to be a high end receiver, but he is a guy that can do. He can be one of the best returners. He can be a weapon in the backfield. He can be a weapon, obviously, in the passing game. And it's like stuff like that where on a normal, if you had like 3 or 4 or 5 top end receivers, yeah, he might go in the second round or even later. But if you can get him in the second round, you're going to be able to get a guaranteed one of the better returners in the NFL immediately. And then if you can develop him as a receiver, build a package around him, that can be very, very interesting for 4 years, very cheap deal, and that you can make an impact. So that's kind of what some of the experts that I've listened to that I kind of trust, that's what they're saying about some of a lot of these guys that maybe in a given year they would be lower, and they're gonna be in this year they're kind of being pushed up because of the lack of top end quality. But they're still really good players, and they're still going to be able to contribute to most teams. So yeah. The Buffalo Bills require a personal seat license to purchase season tickets. Instead of touch billionaires being horrible kind of what the heck is that? Personal seat license? Cool. Personal seat license is a one-time fee paid by fans to secure the rights to purchase season tickets for a specific. Oh, to pick specific tickets. Okay. Still stupid. I would never. I would never pay that fee. I'll be like, no, just. Primarily used to finance new stadium construction. PSLs are common in the NFL and can be sold or transferred. Costs range widely from hundreds to over $100,000 per seats with additional annual ticket cost. Jesus. So you pay the license up front and you still have to pay for the annual season tickets. Wild. Absolutely wild. So they're like, hey, if you want like a specific seat, you have to pay us more money just to be able to pay for that seat. As like a internet meme would say, isn't that just the same thing just with more steps? Captain, yes, Haley Seinfeld and her husband, Buffalo Bills quarterback. Is that his full name? Announced the birth of their first child. Hey, there we go. That's awesome, man. Right on. News through Society. One blessing. Right on. Look at that, man. Captain Mickey Mouse always keeping us up to date. What's going on in Buffalo? Also, team travel, man. Captain is always like throughout the season, man. He's always giving us great info on where teams are flying from and to. So appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, the personal seat license sounds like a bunch of boo hockey. Captain, do you know the band Fish? Yes, 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 yes. I'm going to see them in Boston at Fenway Park, home of the ball. Heck yeah, dude. Right on, man. Nice, dude. Are you a big fan of Fish? But regardless, man, have fun, dude. I haven't been to a concert in a long time, man. I think I'm trying to think of the last one I went to. Uh, might have been might have been when I went to Summerfest, man. It was a long time ago. I was able to get to see Coldplay a couple times. They're always fun. They're always good. I got to see one of my favorite bands, Frightened Rabbit, Scottish band, rock band. Really, really awesome. Yes, first time seeing them live. Let's go, man. Heck yeah, dude. Captain. That's awesome, man. It's always fun to like do live music, man. Live performances are always just so much fun, especially when you know the music so well, when you know the band so well. It's always interesting to see what they do to kind of personalize the the performance to kind of like your city or the area, things like that. It's really really fun. Makes it very unique. But heck yeah, man. Well, have fun, dude. Like, is it gonna be like in the next week or two, or is it like a couple weeks away? Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were still talking about the concert. Okay, gotcha. All right. No, July 31st to August. Oh, right on. Okay, so you got some time. Right on. Still pretty cool, man. That's always something to look forward to, man. That's awesome. Yeah, man. You're gonna have to definitely let me know how it was, man. Once you get a chance to go watch them, man, you gotta let me know. Let me know. Also, let me know what songs I should listen to by Fish, man. I'm always down for listening to some new albums, some new music. Let me know. Let me know what your favorite song or songs. So basically, football season. Yeah, I think that's. Let me see, August 1st. That's a couple days before maybe a day or two before the first preseason game starts. Fuego and Golden Age, my favorite. Heck yeah, dude. Let me look those up real quick, and then I can listen to those later. Right on. All right. See here. Don't play it on stream. Oh no! I'm not gonna play it on stream. No, that's okay. They will copyright you. No. Hey, thanks for looking out, dude. No. I'm gonna listen to those on my own time. Um, yeah, unfortunately, Jesus, man, YouTube is like even I think even though I think you have quote unquote like a certain like 3 or 4 seconds that you can play music, even then they'll take down the video, even though it's well within fair use. But it's just it's just YouTube and the record companies just trying to be dumb. So no, but yeah, thank you for the recommendations, my man. I'll have to check those out. And then, Captain, are you looking forward to anybody for the Bills? Do you have any idea who you would want them to draft in the first round? or a position maybe? Do you think they should go for offensive lineman, defensive end, cornerback, not quarterback, but corner, defensive back? Let me know. Yeah, I feel like the Bills have a decent amount of picks this year. I just can't remember how many. Seastrom, Bills need wide receiver help, right? If I recall correctly. I still think they'll go with for sure some receivers this year. I think one or two, just to add some depth and some just kind of up that quality. But they did trade for DJ Moore not too long ago. So yeah, I feel like DJ. I don't know. I don't think you can consider him a true number one with the Bills, but I think he's a strong number two, and also his kind of skill set is something that they haven't had in a long time. Like top end speed, ability to um, it's even though it's a little bit of a platitude, but like to blow the top off a defense, he has that kind of speed. He's shown the ability to be able to win contested catches, and he's versatile too. You can throw him in the backfield, kind of a little bit of misdirection here, a little bit of a swing pass, things like that. Um, so yeah, but I still think that they need to, because between DJ Moore and I'm forgetting their slot receiver there that's been there forever. But yeah, there isn't really anybody else behind those two. Obviously Coleman is still there, but I mean, I think the trade of DJ Moore is kind of showing that the Bills don't have a ton of confidence in Keon Coleman. So, um, but yeah, I'm just trying to think. I don't know if they would use an early pick for a receiver, but it's possible. I think if the right guy falls to you, you have to take him. Yeah, like trying to think, what receiver am I thinking? Like if a Jordan Tyson falls all the way to 26, that's the receiver out of Arizona State. I mean, if I'm the Bills, man, I pull the trigger on that guy, man. He's very very freaking talented, man. They could go Casey Conception, though I don't. I think he could be a versatile weapon. They can use him in the special teams as well, but I think they could probably find a guy similar to his skill set, maybe a little bit further down. They wouldn't be as high as Casey could. Like I think he's gonna whatever Casey's gonna be able to do, he's gonna do well in the NFL. He's just not your traditional number one, number two receiver. I think he's a strong number three if he develops, and with the upside that he can add some value to your return game. Casey Conception, he's the Texas A&M wide receiver, Aggie. Aggie. He's actually a guy that I was hoping the Packers would be able to draft. But since they picked up Sky Moore, I don't think Conception is going to have as much value to the Packers as he would have. Another candidate for the Bills, man, is trying to think where I just saw him. Blake Miller, tackle out of Clemson. They need some offensive line help, man. Their offensive line was struggling towards the back end of the NFL season. There, man, they were rough. They could also go Kalen Rutledge, Georgia Tech guard. That's also another great one. That's one that if he fell to the Packers, I would be happy if they picked him up. One of my favorite players for the Packers to potentially pick up, even though I think they would have to trade up in the second round, is Emmanuel Pregnon. Sorry, the Oregon Duck guard, man. Oregon over the last, I feel like it's been like 7 seasons, man. They have really been able to produce some big offensive linemen that have done really well, extremely well. David, if I'm the Bills, I would pick wide right of the draft board. Pick somebody that goes only slightly off to the left. So when he becomes a Bill, it'll that slightly off to the left will veer to the right and it'll be accurate, right down the middle. Too much? All right, my bad. Hmm. See here. Yeah, so apparently recently the Packers hosted a safety AJ Huckley out of LSU, man. I think it was within the last day or two. And the Packers are doing their due diligence, man. They also brought in an offensive lineman that I really like out of, I think it might have been Texas A&M. I think it was, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, to be honest with you, there's a lot of Aggies that I hope can slide to the Packers, man, because they had a great team this past season, and a lot of guys that I think there's gonna be a one or two guys that may go in the first round, maybe not, but there's gonna be a lot of Aggies that go kind of in between round 3, 4, and 5, and I feel like they could get really good value out of those guys. You think the Bears are still going to be good next year? Hmm. Unfortunately, I do. I think they're going to go as far as Caleb can go, which I know might be a little bit of a cop out. I think they're very talented, man. Their receiving core got a little bit thinner, obviously, without DJ Moore, but I wouldn't be surprised if they add a receiver in the draft, whether in the second or third round. I don't think they need to use a first. Their tight end situation is great. They got Cole Kmet. They got obviously Colston Loveland, who had, by the end of the season he was probably the best rookie tight end by far in the NFL, and was probably a top 15, top 10 tight end the way he was playing. Their defense, um, their defense is going to be something that I could see take a step back if they don't find the right pieces in the draft, or some of those younger guys, those first year, second year players don't take a step up. Their secondary gave up a lot of yardage, but also was number one in turnovers. They lost some of those guys, so I think the Bears' offense will be fine. They need some extra receivers, some extra offensive linemen, but I think they'll be fine. But their defense is the thing that I could see them holding them back next year, because I feel like they weren't great against the run, and they gave up some big chunks at times in the passing game. Like look at the Green Bay games. They gave up a lot of yardage to Jordan Love, some decent yardage to Malik Willis. It was just that their defense was able to get enough turnovers at the right time, and then their offense was able to kind of match what the defense was giving up. Oh, 100%. There's a lot of great Aggies in the draft this year. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Imagine if Caleb Williams wins the division 2 years in a row. I don't want to, man. I don't want to. I guarantee you no one thought that would even be possible 1 year ago. Potentially, man. And like you can, I might have to pull some of that stuff up myself, but if you look at back in 2025, 2024, if you look at the games that I did with the Bears, man, especially if you remember the Texan game with the Bears and the Texans, that was like one of the worst games I've seen for the Bears in a long time. But Caleb wasn't an issue. I was saying it throughout the entire game. I was like, he's making great plays. He's getting out of the pocket. He's buying time. And he's firing accurate passes. It's just the receivers are nowhere near where they need to be, and the offensive line is not giving him any type of time to find somebody within the structure of the offense. And you also had Matt Eberflus as your head coach. That's never going to help. No offense, Dallas fans, but there's a reason that you guys fired them too. But yeah, man, I feel like Caleb was playing good football at times in his rookie season, but it wasn't always matching with what his receivers, his offensive line were doing. And then in year 2, some of the roughest parts of his game got better, but then the offense itself also got better as well. And I think that's what you were seeing that uptick. But then there were games even this year where I would say there's probably 3 to 5 games where Caleb looked bad. And I think that's just kind of like the natural progression of a rookie quarterback. You'll see some high level football for 2 or 3 games, and then there's going to be a dip, and then it'll kind of keep going up and up. But there's going to be some valleys there for sure. Wait, has Love even won the division yet? No, Love has not won the division ever. Because they've been the 7th seed every single year, so that they were never division winners. So yeah, not yet. And of course, in 2024 when they had I think an 11-6 record, that was the year that Minnesota and Detroit had basically the 2 best records in the NFL. So yeah. So they could have had a chance that year to probably win the division if Minnesota played like they did in 2025, and actually if Detroit would have played like they did in 2025, the Green Bay probably would have won the division in 2024. No offense taken, but that was a great coaching decision. That was not a great coaching decision, 100%. I never understood it, man. Like, I get it. He was kind of an okay defensive coach before he became the head coach for Chicago. But if you look at at least the rankings, which is not always indicative of the quality of coaching, but it doesn't mean the opposite, you know. His defenses were just kind of okay to kind of slightly below average. And Chicago, I feel like they had a decent defense before he got there, and it just got progressively worse as he was the coach there. Granted, I think he only lasted 2 seasons, maybe 3. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Matty Eberflus was always a weird hire for me when Dallas, because like usually when it comes to like somebody that gets fired after that kind of a bad run with a team, there's usually like a 1 year gap where like he's not really anywhere. But this year, Love will get it this year. Hopefully, man. Hopefully. Yeah. Because especially if Detroit can't bounce back, they're in a little bit of a lull, and Chicago maybe regress a little bit. I feel like I don't really see Minnesota really jumping back to where they were in 2024. I think their defense has a little bit more holes than they used to, and then their offense is a little bit more depleted than they were a couple years ago. So yeah, like Green Bay, even though they have some holes, they're not in. I wouldn't call the Green Bay Super Bowl favorites by any means, but they have some elite players at the right positions, except for maybe corner. They got a great tackle in Zach Tom. They got a great quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love. No, not Aaron. And then obviously Micah Parsons, when he's healthy, is probably one of the top 5 defensive players in the NFL. So yeah, I'm just hoping that the Packers can find guys that can contribute right away this season and play at a high level. And hopefully their defense doesn't take a step. Actually, their defense took a step back last year already, but let's hope they don't keep going backwards. Hopefully there is a little bit of a bump. But yeah. But I'm hoping to be honest with you, man, as a person that has watched a lot of Cowboys games over the last 2 years because they're always in prime time. I'm hoping they get better, man, because they're exciting to watch. They're an exciting team. Like each of the last 2 years have obviously been disappointing for Cowboys fans, but to be honest with you, I've never. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 games where I was like, dude, the Cowboys just suck. Like it wasn't enjoyable to watch, but for the most part, they're fun. There's a lot of shootouts. There's a lot of high scoring. Sometimes there's bad defense, but sometimes there's some really exciting turnovers. I think they were in 2025. I'm trying to remember what game it was, but their defense had like 5 turnovers in the first like 3 quarters or first half of a game. Like I think they had like 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions, or like 2 fumbles, 3 fumbles, something like that. It was wild. So yeah, Cowboys are always exciting to watch for the most part. Yeah, I don't know. And to be honest with you, even Kansas City, they got really exciting for most of their games. I feel like even though they were struggling, their games were a little bit more nail biting than probably David would have hoped. But compared to what they were doing the last 2 years, where they were winning, but it was just kind of like slowly, kind of like almost like they're like a big giant wrestler leaning on a smaller wrestler, just kind of wearing them out until they finally won by double digits in the final couple minutes. KC was also an exciting team to watch over the last year. So, yeah, for sure, Cowboys can be fun. Yes, can be painful to watch sometimes, but 100%. Oh god, I still remember that freaking Packers Cowboys game. Oh my god, nobody was happy at the end of that game. Nobody. Which was hilarious. It was so funny, but it was just oh my god, that was like the because I guarantee you, man, everybody wanted somebody to win and somebody to lose. You either wanted Jerry to win because it would be hilarious to see the Packers traded all that to still lose to the Cowboys finally, and then it would have been funny if the Packers would have won because then Jerry would have been made fun of even more. But nobody got what they wanted, which is such a funny thing. Jesus. Which teams do you think are going to be the worst teams next year? Talking about 2026 or 2027? For sure, that game was frustrating. Just downright odd. 100%. 100%. um, yeah, if you're talking about 2026, I could see the Cardinals still being bad just because they don't really have a true long-term answer at quarterback. Even though I think Jacoby Brissett is solid, but it seems like the Cardinals are not sold on wanting to do another year of Jacoby, which I don't understand why not. Like if you had an answer on your roster or you were in a position to find a great quarterback in the draft, totally understand it. But yeah, 2026. David batten the hatches. Tornado within 15 miles. So far, not heading my direction. It's raining pretty good. Oh, dang, dude. Well, that's good. It's not going in in your direction, man. Hopefully, you get a chance to maybe enjoy the view. If you, I don't know if you're one of those people. My parents kind of were one of those people. Like if the tornado was not heading towards us, they were like, "Everybody on the porch, we're gonna watch this." So yeah, man, be safe, man. Hopefully it's just more of a non-threatening spectacle that's just kind of coming through. Let me see here. Yeah, in terms of teams, to answer your question, who could be pretty bad? Um, I honestly could see the Commanders still being pretty bad if they don't fix that defense. Because their offense is also pretty depleted as well, man. Like the Debo Samuel, the like that kind of um, experiment did not work out at all. Minnesota could also be pretty bad. Their offensive line is bad. They have a lot more questions at quarterbacks than they did the last 2 years. Their defense has gotten a little bit older, gotten a little bit more expensive, things like that. Even though I think their defense will still be one of the better ones, Brian Flores is still their D coordinator, so pretty good. It's too dark and I don't have a good line of sight for miles and miles from my house. That's fair. Otherwise, would totally watch. That's fair. Let me see here. Who else could be pretty bad? So I said Arizona. I said Washington. I haven't talked about the AFC yet. Um, Unfortunately, I think the Jets could also be a team that could be bad, which could actually be good for them. Because I think I've said this before. I don't think this is the year that the Jets should try to draft a quarterback, at least not within the first 2 to 3 rounds. Like if you find a guy that you like in the fourth or fifth, totally take a shot, plug him in, see if it works. You might find a gem. Um, but next year's draft class is going to be a lot better in terms of quarterbacks. It won't just be one guy in the top 5 to top first round. There's going to be at least 3 or 4 guys in that first round that are going to be potentially high ceiling guys. They're not going to be perfect prospects, but they'll be better. Oregon Duck quarterback that could have probably declared for this draft and probably would have been in the top 10, but he decided to go back to Oregon for another year. See here. Cleveland, unfortunately, probably could be pretty bad. Tennessee, I could see them taking a step forward, but their defense was really, really bad, man. They didn't do anything good. They didn't do great in coverage. They didn't cause turnovers, couldn't get a pass rush. And then their defense was just very young and inexperienced. If you can see, if their offense can take a step forward and they can add maybe some high end talent to the defense, I think they can maybe get better. But yeah. So yeah, I would say the Jets, Tennessee, Cleveland for the AFC. Maybe the Raiders are still pretty bad, but I don't know. I think they could maybe surprise some people, especially if Mendoza is able to be what they hope he is early on. And then in the NFC, Washington, Arizona could be pretty bad. Minnesota could be pretty bad as well. So And the Falcons too, man. I know they have Tua as a backup quarterback, but I don't know. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be really really weird. Plus, one of their young edge rushers is like could be going to jail. A guy that they drafted in the first round last year is like his career is in limbo. He may not be on the roster or could be suspended indefinitely, and then after that he could be potentially in jail for a couple years. So that's another thing for the Falcons to worry about. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. All right, all right, guys. I'm trying to think here. And let me know. Do you guys enjoy like the mock draft post? Are those interesting to you guys? I can do a few more for a couple other teams. I'm gonna be doing one for Green Bay just to kind of have some fun. And but yeah, that we can kind of compare them throughout the as the draft is going. But let me know if you guys are interested in those. I can do more. Otherwise, I could probably just do other stuff as well. But yeah, I can basically do those as I'm like watching film and writing down notes. That's kind of the fun thing about it. Seastrom, sure, go for it. Yeah. Yeah, the one thing I'm learning about these mock simulators, man, just wild value. Like I don't understand what they're thinking. I think some of these are not, let's just say, updated with the newest information. You got guys that are like clearly going in the first round at some point that are like still there in the third. But yeah, but for the most part, I feel like most of the evaluations are fairly accurate. I think it's just like seems like one or two out of every 10 is just like how the heck did that guy end up there? All right, guys. I think that's gonna be it for me today. I'm trying to think. I don't think I missed any news. Let me know if I missed something that you want me to talk about. There hasn't been anything major in terms of like draft or any trades. Truly, um, I know the Colts were going to trade Kenny Moore in probably the next couple days here, or the next like week, but has yet to really materialize with anything right now. All right, party people. Thank you so much, man. I think that's gonna be it for me today. It's almost 9 where I am, probably a little bit later for some of you guys, so I won't hold you up, especially on the Monday night. But thank you so much, man. Thank you for being here, David. Always shout out to you, my man. Seastrom, you too. Thank you so much. Captain Mickey Mouse, man. We had a sighting right there. Your local was in here for a little bit. Appreciate you being here, my dude. Hope you're doing well. Let me see here. I think that's it, man. But yeah, thank you so much, man. Another solid stream, man. I think we almost had. I think at some point we had like 4 or 5 people in here watching this all at once. So thank you so much, man. Thank you for showing up. Appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys on Friday For one more stream, we'll do a mock draft. Once again, that one will be a little bit quicker. We'll do 3 rounds, but we're only going to do maybe 3 or 4 teams that we're going to kind of select ourselves. Everything else will be just kind of simulated. So it'll be going a lot quicker than the last one. I think the last one we took like about an hour and a half to go through it. So yeah, man. Have a good one. Be safe, David. Absolutely, man. David, be safe, my man. Hopefully that tornado just kind of rolls through and just kind of doesn't do anything to anyone. So, yeah, be safe, my dude. I'll catch you on Friday. And Seastrom, same to you, my man. Hopefully the work stuff, the work drama, hopefully it just kind of smooths out. And like you said, you seem like you had a good day, and hopefully that keeps going, my man. But yeah, man, have a great one, man. I know you're getting closer and closer to the end of the school year, man. So things are getting a little bit wild. So be safe, man, and yeah, keep doing your thing, man. You seem like you care about what you do, and we need more people like you in education. So appreciate you, buddy. All right, guys. Once again, my name is Dave, and I'm not a coach. I'll catch you guys on Friday.